I welcome you to my channel. Subscribe and listen to my new stories every day. When I turn the key in the lock, a pungent odor hits me, sharp, unmistakable, the stench of gasoline. The smell is overpowering, seeping through the hallway like a toxic mist. Dropping my bag, I follow the trail, each step heavier than the last, my heart pounding against my chest. The noise of the garage door creaking open is unusually foreboding tonight. As I push through, the scene before me freezes my blood. There, surrounded by jerry cans, stands Jenna, my wife of 7 years, her hands shaking as she grips a lighter. Beside her, a strange man with wild eyes and a nervous twitch looks equally startled to see me. Jenna. My voice cracks the silence like a whip. What's going on here? She whirls around, her eyes wide with shock. For a moment, she says nothing, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. It's clear, Jenna has never excelled at deception. But tonight, her surprise morphs quickly into panic. Mark, it's not what it looks like, she stammers, but her gaze darts too quickly to the stranger, betraying her words. Really? Because it looks like you're about to burn down our house. My accusation hangs heavy in the air, laden with the weight of betrayal. The stranger shifts uncomfortably, his eyes flicking towards the garage door as if calculating the odds of an escape. Jenna bites her lip, her facade crumbling. Mark, please, let's just talk about this. Talk. I laugh, but it's hollow, bitter. With jerry cans and a lighter. What were you planning, Jenna? An accident for me? The stranger finally speaks, his voice rough. Look, man, I don't want any trouble. She said. Shut up. Jenna's shout cuts him off. She takes a step towards me, her hands outstretched pleadingly. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. You weren't supposed to be home yet. I stare at her, the woman I married, seeing her for the first time. Who are you? As Jenna struggles for words, a plan forms in my mind, swift and vengeful. You know what, Jenna? We're going to fix this right now. Confusion flickers across her face. What do you mean? I grab my phone, dialing quickly. Within minutes, the sound of sirens fills the air, approaching fast. Jenna's face goes pale, and the stranger curses, backing towards the door. As the police take Jenna and her accomplice away, I stand amidst the chaos of our life, shattered and smoldering. The house is safe, the plan foiled, but the life I knew is gone. The betrayal cuts deep, but it's just the beginning. Jenna will have her day in court, and I'll make sure we never cross paths again. The wheels of revenge are already turning. As the garage door closes behind the departing police car, I'm left alone in the echoing silence, the stench of gasoline still lingering in the air. I know this is just the first chapter of a long, tumultuous saga. The real story, the depth of Jenna's deceit, is yet to unfold. The morning after Jenna's arrest, the silence in the house is deafening. The sun casts long shadows across the floor, the same floor that last night was supposed to become my pyre. As I sit at the kitchen table, nursing a cup of black coffee, my thoughts are a turbulent storm. Every sip reminds me of how close I came to not being here today. My phone vibrates violently against the tabletop, slicing through the silence. It's a number I don't recognize. Cautiously, I answer. Mark? It's Dave Milner. I was there last night, with Jenna. Look, I owe you an explanation. Can we meet? His voice is hesitant, laced with a tinge of fear. I consider hanging up, letting him stew in his guilt. But then, the need for answers grips me. Fine. The Bluebird Cafe, 30 minutes. Dave nods audibly. I'll be there. The Bluebird Cafe is quiet in the mid-morning, a few lone customers scattered about. Dave is already there when I arrive, a ball of nervous energy contained in a booth at the back. As I slide into the booth, Dave starts talking. I didn't know what she was planning, not really. She told me it was just a scare tactic, to shake things up. I glare at him, my hands clenched. You expect me to believe that? You were there, with jerry cans and a lighter. What did you think was going to happen? Dave's eyes dropped to his coffee. I was in deep with some bad debts. Jenna said she'd help me out if I helped her. But I swear, I didn't know she meant to. I thought it was just drama, you know. The confession hangs between us, sour and heavy. Why should I trust anything you say now? I demand. He looks up, his eyes earnest. Because I'm also a victim here, Mark. She played us both. And I have proof. Emails, texts. It's bigger than just trying to scare you. My pulse quickens. Show me. Dave pulls out his phone, and begins scrolling through messages, each one more incriminating than the last. Jenna's plans, her manipulations, a network of lies. It's all there. Take screenshots. Send them to me, I instruct. The pieces of a larger puzzle are starting to click into place. After Dave leaves, promising to testify if needed, I sit back, the weight of the world on my shoulders. Jenna's deception was more than just a personal betrayal, it was a calculated risk with high stakes. And now, with this information, the scales of justice might just tip in my favor. My phone buzzes again. It's a detective from last night. Mr. Walton, we're processing the evidence now. We'd like to discuss protective measures for you. As I leave the cafe, a plan forms in my mind. Jenna wanted to play a game of life and death. Well, now it's my turn. But unlike Jenna, I don't plan to leave anything to chance. The next move is mine, and it will be decisive. Walking away from the cafe, I feel a new sense of purpose. Retribution isn't just a response, it's a promise. Jenna started this fire, but I'm going to finish it. And when the ashes settle, she'll realize she picked the wrong enemy. The plot of her destruction is only beginning to unfold. The police station is sterile and unwelcoming, a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing within me. As I sit across from Detective Larson, her words are crisp, each one measured and precise. Mr. Walton, given the nature of the threats against you, we recommend a few security adjustments around your home. Additionally, we've scheduled a hearing. With the evidence stacking up, it's crucial we keep you safe until then. I nod, my mind racing. What about Jenna? Where is she now? She's been denied bail, given the severity of the accusations. We're keeping her under close watch. The detective hands me a stack of documents, restraining orders, court dates, witness lists. It's overwhelming, but necessary. As I stand to leave, her hand on my arm stops me. Mark, be careful. We don't know if she was working alone or if there are others. Her warning sends a chill down my spine. Outside, the sky is overcast, mirroring the darkening mood of my thoughts. Back home, I pore over the emails and texts Dave sent me. Jenna's network appears vast, her plans meticulously detailed. But one name keeps cropping up, Gregory Hale. Who is he? And what's his part in this deadly game? Determined, I fire up my laptop and start digging. Social media, public records, news articles. Hours go by, the screen blurring into a mess of faces and names until one article catches my eye. Gregory Hale, a businessman with ties to both real estate and the more shadowy corners of finance, a man who wouldn't flinch at bending the law for the right price. A plan forms, risky but necessary. I pick up my phone and dial the number for a private investigator. I need information on someone, Gregory Hale. It's urgent. 2 days later, the PI gets back to me with a report. Hale is indeed a linchpin in Jenna's scheme, not just a random name. They had meetings, financial transactions that hint at something bigger than just an insurance scam. Armed with this new information, I arrange a meeting with Hale, posing as an interested party in one of his less legitimate ventures. We meet at a quiet bar downtown, the air thick with the smell of old liquor and desperation. Hale is cautious, eyeing me with a mix of suspicion and intrigue. You say you're interested in investing, but why come to me? His voice is smooth, like oil over water. Because I know what you offer, and I'm willing to pay for discretion. I match his tone, laying the bait. He considers this, swirling his drink. And what exactly do you think I offer, Mr. Walton? Not what, you. I know about your dealings with Jenna Walton. I want in. His eyes narrow, but I see the interest there. You're playing a dangerous game. What's to say you're not setting me up? I lean in, my voice low. Because I need what you have, insurance against further complications. And I believe you need protection from the fallout of Jenna's mistakes. Hale studies me for a long, tense moment. Then he nods. All right. I'm listening. As we talk, I steer the conversation, gathering as much information as possible while revealing nothing. When we part ways, Hale is convinced I'm a potential ally, but I've got enough to bury him. Walking back to my car, the first drops of rain begin to fall, washing the streets clean. I feel a grim satisfaction. Jenna's network is unraveling, and I'm the one pulling the strings. The storm is coming, and I'm at its center, ready to strike back with the full force of the betrayal I've endured. The courthouse looms large, its gray stones cold and unforgiving as the truth that is about to unfold within its walls. Today is the day of reckoning, the final chapter in a saga of betrayal and deception. I stand at the back of the courtroom, a silent observer, as Jenna and her accomplices file in. Among them, Gregory Hale looks particularly uneasy, constantly scanning the room as if expecting another shoe to drop. The trial progresses swiftly, the air thick with anticipation. I watch Jenna, her posture rigid, her eyes darting nervously. She knows what's coming, yet she's unprepared for the depth of my resolve. The prosecutor calls me to the stand. As I recount the events, detailing the conspiracy against me, Jenna's face goes white. I lay out everything, the jerry cans, the lighter, the emails, and, most damning of all, the financial transactions with Hale. Then, the moment arrives for my final move. And there's more, I say, my voice steady but loaded with implication. The courtroom leans in collectively. Let me introduce a witness who has been part of this scheme from the start. I signal to the back of the room. The doors open, and to Jenna's horror, Dave walks in. He's not just a witness, he's been my inside man, gathering evidence against her and Hale from the shadows. Dave takes the stand, his testimony the nail in the coffin. He reveals recordings of Jenna planning the accident, her laughter chilling as she discusses the details. Hale tries to interrupt, claiming coercion, but the evidence is overwhelming. As the jury retires to deliberate, Jenna turns to me, her expression a mix of fury and despair. How could you, she hisses, the irony of her words lost on no one. I meet her gaze, my reply cold and unforgiving. You taught me well about betrayal, Jenna. I just turned it into an art form. The jury returns, the verdict swift and unanimous, guilty. Jenna and Hale are led away in handcuffs, their futures as bleak as the lies that built them. But the story doesn't end at the courthouse. The true conclusion unfolds later, under the cover of darkness. Hale, out on bail and awaiting sentencing, finds his shadowy empire crumbling. He knows too much, a liability Jenna can no longer afford. I follow him to a secluded warehouse where he's trying to salvage what's left of his assets. The confrontation is inevitable. As we stand amid the echoes of his collapsing world, I don't hesitate. The fight is brutal, a dance of fury and revenge, each blow a testament to the years stolen from me. When it's over, Hale is left broken, a shell of the manipulator he once was. As I walk away, the warehouse, filled with incriminating evidence, catches fire, flames consuming the last vestiges of Hale's legacy, as insidious and ruthless as the plot he helped weave. In the ashes of their empire, Jenna and Hale are truly gone from my life, their betrayal repaid in full. The fire burns not just their past but also the shadows of my own, the heat searing away the last traces of the man I was before. I return to my now quiet home, the events of the past months settling around me like dust. There's no joy in this victory, no triumph in the solitude that follows. Yet, there's peace, perhaps for the first time, in knowing that the web of lies is shattered, the traitors undone by their own deceit. As dawn breaks, I look out over a world that is stark and real, the deceptions of the night burned away with the rising sun. The future is uncertain, a path unmarked, but I step forward, free from the chains of the past, ready to rebuild from the truth that remains.